Here we go. We have a best of 5 between Shadi and LuiisP. And if you're here watching, you probably have more questions about Shadi, but let's just talk about LuiisP first anyways. LuiisP from Spain, top ones player who has really kept his rating high on the leaderboard throughout his entire ones career. He never really falls far. In fact, he's frequently #1 rated in the EU, and I'm not sure if that's where he's at right now. Probably not, because I think Zen sits atop the leaderboard. But he is still in the top 10. Today, he's going to test himself against Shadi, a guy who has pushed high in the rankings before, but actually not even sure is in the top 100 now. But recently had a nice performance in a ones tournament, winning with a grand final over Nuggets, and also qualified in what is a very tough qualifier for, I think we decided was the fall 5K. I ran a bunch of tournaments around that time frame. But Shadi has actually played multiple matches in tournaments on my stream. He might have ended up playing them on a different channel than mine because I had people helping me out for those tournaments. So it might be a debut on my channel. I'd have to go double check for sure. But I think it might be a debut on the main YouTube channel. I think he had games on the Feer Plus channel because we had so many around that time. But he's got an opportunity to enter the one scene in style with a win over LuiisP. I'm sure that if he can put up a good performance against the Spaniard, he'll have lots of different people willing to try and get a match against him. Thank you, by the way, Only Ray, for gifting the sub to Robert TW. Thank you. That's... Sorry, they've given 101 gifted subs. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. 101 gifted subs now, Only Ray. Thank you. Shadi is in the RLCS for the Middle East as well. I think around the time that he first played on the stream, I wasn't sure if he was or not, but I want to say last regional I checked, Shadi was playing alongside, I forget who, but I know chat will remember. Please fill us all in of Shadi's RLCS teammates. He's backing off the ball here and able to get his first goal against LuiisP. Shadi, by the way, is the way I say his name. I believe we had some time discussing how to say it correctly. I know a lot of people are going to read Shady. Nice shot here as he chips the ball up and gets around it. Best of 5, as we said at the starts. But maybe he wasn't able to catch it. We love Team Liquid. A big Team Liquid enjoyer. Yeah, Shadi, not a member of Team Liquid, but rocking the Team Liquid decal and the portal boost to match. I like the color coordination. And the kickoffs have been going well for Shadi. I believe this is not his first time converting on a kickoff possession. Did you make a big mistake betting on Luis because he has more show matches? You know, it's not necessarily a bad idea to bet what you know, but there's always going to be somebody who shakes up the status quo. Everyone has to debut at some point, so you can't only bet on the more experienced player. Right now 5-2 for Shadi. A lot of that has to do with quick kickoff possessions. That's what extended his lead. He actually wasn't able to hold on to this one, and LuiisP chips it down off the wall and into an air dribble. You see Shadi with low boost, just trying to do his best to get it out of a scoring position, rolling it up that side wall. LuiisP a kickoff win. The ball falls into the orange half, which some could perceive as a loss, but what's most important is that he has first possession. And right now, these two have no answer for each other. Whoever gets the kickoff possession is converting it. A little bit has to do with some poor defense. Shadi there pre-jumping onto the back wall before immediately coming right back down. Maybe because he felt like that was the right way to defend LuiisP's air dribble, but LuiisP was not air dribbling all the way to net, at least not this time around. Shadi direct kickoff goal on the standard kickoff, flipping left, pushing his lead back to 2. Can somebody get a stop on a kickoff win? This might be the first in a while. as Shadi doesn't convert on the first hook shot, but his possession is not over. I would still consider this a kickoff win if he holds on to possession long enough, although retreating all the way back to his net. It's maybe a bit different. Huge bounce dribble, forced to play it off the back wall in order to prevent LuiisP from getting a touch, but LuiisP has officially survived. A kickoff goal was not converted on, or a kickoff possession was finally not converted on. LuiisP demoed. Shadi has tons of space. Losing the ball here, though, has to just use all the boost in his tank just to try and stay underneath it. And LuiisP needed to score that so bad. Oh, LuiisP. That was a free opportunity. I shouldn't say free. He earned it. And then he missed it. But Shadi instead slams a huge clear, and LuiisP just touching the ball too strong into the corner. Couldn't get back to it to protect it. Shadi, slow air dribble all the way to nets, but he gives the movement when it matters. LuiisP not pre-jumping. No reason to when Shadi's just barely moving the ball on the initial air dribble. Takes the bounce to the ground, back into the air, and uses that late flip right at the peak. We've seen him do that multiple times against LuiisP so far. LuiisP looking for a triple reset. He is liable for something crazy every show match, but that's not going to be it. Shadi instead gets one of the easier goals he's going to have in this series. Is it just going to be the case that every time Shadi plays, it's just chat trying to make as many jokes about his name as they can? Because it seems like that's the way it's been so far. I'm pretty sure the last time he played, it went the same way. Shadi overly pre-jumping these LuiisP dribbles, but to be fair, that's because LuiisP has done a good job at scoring them every which way. But he recognizes when he should just drop the ball to the ground and roll it in underneath. What's up, Just Mike? Thank you for the 15 months of Prime. He says, just joined. Debut for Shadi or no? It is not a debut because he played in the fall 5K. He qualified for a tournament and I believe played at least one game on stream. So I don't think it's technically a debut, but it is his first show match debut. Not often does a player play in a tournament first. LuiisP just messed up on this kickoff, and Shadi actually perfectly punished it. Not only did he go crossbar down, he also had a wave dash off the shot to follow it up if he needed to. Shadi with 12 boosts. LuiisP is ultra aggressive right now, as he needs to be, and he's actually able to earn himself a great possession. High in the air. Yeah, Shadi just doesn't stand a chance on a dribble like this. A great way to convert on a massive boost advantage is to take the ball far away from the net and at ceiling heights. Not much can be done to stop that. I guess if you bring it too close to the ceiling, Shadi could have a chance of challenging off the ceiling in order to get to the ball, but LuiisP had it in the perfect spot. Down 6, and he actually might come back. I mean, I thought for sure this game was just over, but he's scoring at a rate that is probably fast enough to bring the game tied at 11-11, but certainly Shadi will mix up the kickoffs in some way to not let that happen. That's interesting. I've never seen that half flip kickoff. You know, you've seen the turtle kickoff that you bounce up as you connect to the ball, but that was just a full-on half flip and then backflipping into the challenge. The game will be secure. Game 1 going to Shadi. LuiisP maybe not knowing who Shadi was. To be fair, I didn't ask him. I just told him there's a talented player from Saudi Arabia who's down to play. He said he's willing to do it, but certainly he knows who he is now as he falls to him in game number 1. Game number 2. Shadi versus LuiisP. A lot of people in chat talking about the prediction. I'm going to go take a look at it, what it was. 67% to 33% for Shadi. Honestly, considering Shadi was debuting, or, you know, kind of talked about it, essentially debuting. It's not often that you can garner 33% as a votes as the newcomer. So I'd actually say that's a decent amount of faith from the chat in Shadi. Shadi forced to hand over the ball. LuiisP on the bounce dribble, doing his best to fake Shadi, and he actually is not able to. Shadi stays patient and then gets the double jump save to push the ball off the crossbar. He almost had the read on LuiisP, passing to himself off the back wall. I think LuiisP is trying to control the ball and set up for the counterattacks, which you'll see players do a lot when they expect their opponent to go for the corner boost steal. So I think that's what LuiisP was doing, and Shadi stuck around, and had he fully committed to it, might have even been able to get a dunk and a goal. The zap dashing from Shadi seems to be part of his game. LuiisP taking the ball to the opposite side of the field. I thought to get to his air dribbles. By the way, he goes up on the wall and corrals it to touch it back down. Shows that he's actually not necessarily looking for them. Not sure why you'd attack the side wall as hard as he did. If you plan on just cutting the ball back down to the ground, I guess just to try and change the field away from the defender, but nobody's been able to find any offense, which is wild considering the last game ended 11-7. But both these two guys knowing the first goal is crucial for the momentum of either player. LuiisP, at the very least, has been able to slow Shadi down, but I actually say the momentum might have even been in favor of LuiisP late. We saw the last 3 or 4 go to him, and he's going to get the first of this game. Yes, as he slots it into the bottom right. A bump on Shadi on the back half can be enough when the opponent doesn't have the boost to recover. Shadi diving into Luis's corner to grab 100. Has to spin around the ball and use all of that 100 in an attempt to make a play on the ball. LuiisP still gains control. Ball's a bit too slow to stick with that ball. Makes Shadi's challenge somewhat straightforward. LuiisP, fake challenge, backing off the ball, grabbing the midfield boost, and just letting Shadi roll the ball right at him. Shadi feels like he has to make a play on the ball as Luis is coming to take a potential shot or challenge. So you see Shadi flipping into the ball, rolling it away, and playing right into LuiisP's plan. A few different direct kickoff goals for Shadi helped pad the lead in the previous game. Hasn't been able to find one yet in this one. That's about the closest he's gotten to. Yeah, he's held onto this possession. It's a great recovery from Luis. Did he half flip into this 50? He stole the boost. No, he just jumped off the wall, or didn't jump off the wall. He just took a nice big U-turn on the wall. LuiisP trying to set up a play, but Shadi is way less tentative, willing to slam the ball into the ceiling. You see LuiisP slowing down because he doesn't want to take his air dribble immediately into the ceiling and have to try and adjust it from there. It can be hard to control. Shadi not worried about that. Just slams the ball and figures it out later. LuiisP controlling a dribble, has Shadi on low boost. Shadi, what a great save. Double jump to push the ball onto the crossbar and then lands on the side wall for an even faster recovery. Faster than he probably needed since LuiisP didn't stick around. LuiisP, another air dribble. Brought to the ground. Shadi intercepting on the bounce. LuiisP has tried to change the field a bunch. This time, Shadi intercepts and earns a possession. 2-1. I can't believe this game is at 2-1 after the 11-7 ordeal we had in game number 1. LuiisP, aggressive challenge. Not going to be able to get an angle on the net, though. Ball didn't cross in time. Shadi panic pre-flipping. And now he's going to be down 2. I would say That could be a series, or not a series, a game securing goal, but Shadi has had some solid kickoffs. He's going to delay this one. I think this is the first time we've seen him delay it. LuiisP will steal the back corner and looks to play a possession to waste as much time as possible. Shadi, what a read. This is an insane shot. Oh, Shadi not able to get back to it. But LuiisP was expecting Shadi to dive and make a play on the ball, so he hit a strong first touch in an attempt to clear it past him, and Shadi actually just had that perfectly read and almost caught it and converted it for a goal. But in this game number 2, they played Luis's game. You can tell he looked to control the pace and did for the majority of the game. Now has gotten a nice punish to secure the win. Will we get a clip for the road? Now that Luis's game is secured? No. Certainly this will hit the ground, right? Game number 2 to LuiisP. Shadi, maybe a car change off the Team Liquid Fennec. We'll have to see. So we had a game number 3. Into the Octane goes Shadi for game number 3. Will it change his play style? Seems like he maybe didn't have an Octane preset ready. Is this not fully default, or is this a slightly different blue than maybe the default Octane is? Luis with 36 boost. Didn't really time his challenge well. It seemed like at first he wanted to see if he could wait and stay grounded, and recognized maybe a bit too late that he was going to be forced to make a play on the ball, and Shadi gets fairly straightforward touch into the net. Seen some zap dashing from LuiisP as well. Shadi wanted a wall dash shot. Not able to connect. LuiisP fakes the start of an air dribble. Shadi mirrors behind him and is able to force LuiisP just barely over the crossbar. Not able to connect with the ball. Only a bump for his efforts. Now LuiisP reset to the top right. Look at the shots from LuiisP. Shadi has the boost to work with. We saw this defense from him earlier where he jumps to the back wall, but Luis was headed down to the ground. Shadi thought for sure the right place to move to was to make a save from ground level, but LuiisP catches the ball with the reset and carries it into the top right. Great redirect on this kickoff goal and actually converts it for a goal of his own. Shadi wanted some of those immediate kickoff goals back. Maybe tried a little bit too hard to get this one when Luis was in a position to make a save. Wave dash kickoff for LuiisP. Shadi can't keep it out. 3-1 since the 11-7 game number 1. And I'm sure even actually a bit towards the end of that game as well. It's been a big run for LuiisP. Now 7-2, I believe. Shadi dunked by Luis. Luis trying to make something happen here. Should be able to. The ball rolling far enough out of the corner. Shadi in the air. Touch to himself off the ceiling. Can't really do much with this. I'm surprised LuiisP played the defense so passively, but actually he converted it for a goal, so he knows what he's doing. It seemed like such an easy read to challenge him as he came to the ground with no reset, but LuiisP had other intentions in mind. He said, yeah, it is going to be easy to read, so easy I can make a passive save off my backboard and convert it for a counterattack. LuiisP chips up into the air, wants the bump, but directed the ball off target. Shadi, not a ton of boost, has to use the last bit that he does have to avoid the LuiisP demo. LuiisP making multiple possession plays so far in this match. Seems very comfortable once he has control of the ball that he will eventually get past Shadi's defense, and the reset shot makes it 5-1. What a swing of momentum from this first game. Shadi in the double jump as he retreats on the air dribble, something that he loves to do, whether it's jumping onto the back wall or I guess also jumping into the net. But those setups have not done well for him. Off the wall now, Shadi gets the reset, but finishing shot far too weak to get past an awaiting LuiisP. Luckily for him, LuiisP's counterattack didn't have the power it could have. Left the window for Shadi to make it back. He tries to win a race into the corner. Luckily for him, LuiisP hands the ball right back to him. Can be dangerous diving into the opponent's corner. Went on 0 to win a race for 100, because that means you're going to have to deal with a 100 boost opponent on the way back to net. Shadi, a dunk, and a second goal. He's recognized that he cannot let LuiisP have open field possession. LuiisP is trying to control the ball into dribbles a lot. As soon as he's been able to, he's converted, whether that's on the first attempt or the second or third. He doesn't seem to ever give possession back. Shadi changed up the way he's playing, trying to immediately get possession out of Luis's hands, but this air dribble bump is not enough. LuiisP escapes around it and is rewarded with a free goal. Shadi slamming a power shot. We're seeing Shadi on offense for the first time in a while. Looked like he's maybe going for another air dribble bump, but pulled off of it and used his jump very late to give it just a little bit more. LuiisP very low on boost. You'll see defenders all the time creeping out to the arc of small pads in order to have something to work with, but often that puts them out of position. The offender can play it quick enough, and Shadi did. Air dribble from LuiisP. He wants to go for a double off the back wall, and he does. It's a slow bounce, but it's in. And it's a 7-3 lead for LuiisP. Shadi was in the right position. If LuiisP was playing a quick double or had an initial shot on target, but that was not the plan. Stealing Shadi's back corner boost, and now going to take the midfield. Playing keep away from the up-and-coming 1v1er. And now styling as he 360s into a wave dash. Knows he has control of the ball and is in absolutely no rush to hand possession back over. Reset for LuiisP. 12 boosts to work with, but it doesn't matter. He has entered free play in this series. People in the chat in game number 1 worried that they put their channel points on LuiisP. But he is showing why he comes in as this matchup, as the favorite in this matchup. "45 seconds. Shadi got that first win without just kickoff goals. He certainly had a few that gave him the edge, but he had a very huge edge towards the end of that game. He's got to bump Luis, and probably will get a goal from this. As Luis lands after Shadi and makes for an easy read on a bump. But I don't think we see 5 goals going in the next 25 seconds. So a 2-1 lead for Luis as we head to game number 4. Shadi's actually had a really good last minute or so as he's been able to put a bit of offense in. Nice air dribble. Drops it underneath LuiisP. All of this is just momentum building for the next game. Luis is recognized. You're saying Luis doesn't waste possessions. I mean, I guess Shadi can't come back. He still can't. 3 seconds is not enough. But he's showing how these kickoffs got him a lead in the first place. as he's able to get quite a few goals in the last 20 seconds or so. But yeah, Luis has recognized that if he fights for possession early and plays it safe, Shadi hasn't been able to really stop him. Back to the Fennec for Shadi. Didn't like how he performed in the Octane. Can he find a little bit of that surprise factor he had in game 1? Wise to play this with a possession in mind. Seeing that LuiisP had an initial save. He's actually forcing LuiisP to get tough touches multiple times off this first possession, and he actually does a great job to do what LuiisP has been doing really well, which is playing the full possession to its extent, not trying to shoot before he has a real opportunity. So on this air dribble, notices LuiisP's in position to make a challenge, so just play for the 50, see if you can extend the possession longer, eventually get your opportunity to score. Demo for LuiisP. Shadi should be able to respawn. Give a decent save attempt. No, Luis goes over the top of it. Shadi spawns on the opposite side of the field and decides to immediately challenge in the air. Luis, if he had been playing a reset, might have had the ball taken from him right in that moment. That's kind of what Shadi is angling for. But Luis just goes for an additional touch. It pops right over the top of the pre-jump. Shadi 20 boost, sees the reversing LuiisP, feels the need to pop the ball, but it's all part of Luis's plan to fake challenge and get himself a possession. Off the wall is LuiisP, has the reset and the goal. He's led for 10 minutes. Shadi had a brief lead in this one. LuiisP gets 2 straight and is right back into control. Late kick out for Shadi. Clean wall to air dribble. Not sure we've seen Shadi in a position like this yet. And what a great challenge from Luis. Did not get to see what Shadi had in store. And he didn't set that air dribble up near the net either. You know, oftentimes dribbles will be very forward attacking and make it easy to challenge off the back wall before he grabs the reset. But Shadi was actually very far out to the midfield. LuiisP just made an aggressive, effective early challenge. Shadi doesn't seem to have an answer right now for Luis. .50 high to the ceiling. Luis gets Shadi to back off, and I'm not sure what this double jump into net for Shadi is. Something that I think he might want to reconsider. We've seen him do it to the back wall. We've seen him do it into net multiple times. I don't think we've seen him do it and then follow it up with a save. Now, it could just be because there's not much to do at all against Luis, but certainly the way the match has been going means he probably should try and mix it up at least a bit. LuiisP possession of the back corner. I want to see Shadi challenging early like he does here, but losing control. I wanted them to be... Oh, wait, what's happening? What? Do I need to see this from LuiisP's perspective? Why did he just give him a goal? This was not a good position for Shadi. It seemed like another LuiisP, counterattack off of a tough challenge, but obviously somewhere along the way, the angle was lost and LuiisP didn't recognize. So he just taps it off the back wall. Gives Shadi a second. Low 50 for Shadi. Can he hold on to this possession long enough to convert on it? This is going to be an insane shot if he finds a way to make it work. As he starts his air dribble away from the nets. He didn't get the bump he wanted. LuiisP stays glued to the ground and is out of danger. Bounce dribble into the late shots. Shadi has not figured it out. Lots of movements in net before the shot eventually comes. None of it has been what was needed. keep Luis out. Luis converting off the ground double. Shadi, was he diving all the way into the back corner? Not going to be able to get away with that. But he is looking for answers against the LuiisP, who, after the first game, seemed like he might be in trouble, but very clearly shows his experience in the next 3. This is going to be a tough read. The ball launches to the ceiling. Luis falling into net, can't get this save. The midfield 50 converts all the way into a goal, or actually not a 50. Luis didn't touch the ball, just gets bumped by Shadi. Minute 30 and 3 goals is not impossible, but it certainly feels like it is the way Luis has been playing for the past, is it 14 minutes or so now? What a smooth catch by Shadi. Shot to the top shelf. Has to convert on this. Luis deciding not to dive. Play it so patiently. He's essentially taking the risk. Saying, I don't expect Shadi to be able to put on a shot I can't save. I'll just sit it out and wait. Shadi needs to prove that he can do just that. But his full field dribble hands the ball right over to Luis. "40 seconds now. Gonna need to be a Shadi masterclass. We have seen his kickoffs, but it's not gonna matter. Shadi gets scored on for 7-3. Luis may have took a bit to get going, but since then has completely dominated. Who's the best 1v1 player in Saudi Arabia? I'm not sure that you need to know my opinion, because I think it's just agreed upon. I think it's just kind of universal that it's Ruas. I guess maybe Nupo and TRK have been playing well enough that people could say them, but I think it's pretty agreed upon that it is Ruas. GG's unless some miracle 4-pointer goes in. Shadi looked to make a hot start. Not often does that happen in debuts where you win your first game, but he was able to do it. Unfortunately, that's the only one he was able to win.